Paint the fucking world.
Paint the fucking world.
The fucking world.
Paint 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 the fucking world.
Welcome to Paint the Fucking World, a podcast for artists by artists. My name is Visual Assault, and I'm joined with my co-host Marco Mendoza, aka Nolan, and we are here with Sean Donahue. How we doing today, Sean?
What up, yo? Doing great.
What up, yo? I love it. Now, Sean, I've been following you for a while on TikTok, and I absolutely fucking love your work. You do some amazing stuff.
Oh, thanks.
Your graffiti stuff is out of control. I absolutely love it. But we're going to jump right in here and start asking some questions. I'm going to start with the basic question everybody gets asked. Most artists, when they're asked, they say they've been creating since childhood. But when would you say you really started taking your artwork seriously?
Honestly, since jump. My mom tells me I started around 3, really starting to notice shapes and being able to replicate them and stuff on paper. She works up on a Hill Air Force base here in Utah, and she used to bring me home pictures of F-16s and stuff all the time, different planes. And I would flip them over and draw all over the back and just draw airplane until I could figure it out. So I've just kind of always prided myself in taking it seriously and really trying to be the type of artist that can make something like this or make something super realistic looking. And that's what I really focused on once I got started was learning realism, and then I kind of went off from there. So my cartooning isn't that great, but realism is more my speed. But I'm getting kind of off topic here.
No. That actually kind of flows into my next question is, how has your art evolved and changed over time? So that's a perfect question or leeway into that.
I'd say it started out pretty rough. I was always interested in drawing people, cars, and airplanes for a minute. Sorry, my headphones are falling out. I'd say junior high was when it started really, I started getting introduced to professional tools and things like that. We had an amazing art department at my junior high school. We had pottery, we had jewelry making, we had every kind of drawing, drafting, painting, whatever you could imagine. It was fantastic. So I really started, that's when I got introduced to Prismacolor colored pencils. So I was about 13. And that's when I really started focusing on trying to use those to make realistic looking drawings. And, obviously my first ones were not that great. They're rushed. I used to try to finish everything really quickly, but still make it look real. Cause I hate, I have ADHD. I can't, it's hard for me to work on these pieces that I've been doing lately that have been taking me, 80 plus hours. Cause I get bored super quick and I want to do something else.
I can relate to that.
So I stuck with realism through junior high and high school. I didn't really branch off a lot. I would goof around and do some graffiti here and there. I don't know if you can see that piece up there very well, but that's from 11th grade. Okay. So 1998. And so
you and I are about the same age then.
Yeah.
You're a little bit. I think you're a little bit older than me. I started high school in 98, 99. So we're about the same.
Yeah,
age.
I graduated in 99. So you would have been a sophomore. But that one, that's kind of way off from what I was doing at the time.
Sure.
And this was right after a trip to Denver to visit the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design for a week. And I had some pretty cool experiences while I was there, and that's where that came from. So I started the people I was hanging with there, I mean, they were all into the same kind of street art that I was into, but I wasn't really that good at it. And I was picking up a lot of stuff from them and kind of putting it into that. And then that's about the same time I started really like focusing on graffiti and stuff. And then I took like 10 years off really between, I mean, I wasn't off completely, but like between 2011 and just this last August, I mostly just studied art. I would do a few things here and there, mostly realism pieces. But I just kind of studied it and played around with a few different things, posted a couple things on Instagram, never really got anywhere with it. And then this last August when I got on TikTok, man, it just like took off like crazy. And now I'm like drawing everything. So yeah, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, man.
TikTok has been quite the app to facilitate that creativeness within artists. I know, like when I started TikTok in July of 2020, I hadn't done any artwork in 2 years because I, like myself, or like yourself, you know, I'm a full-time parent, and it's tough to actually do art when you're a full-time parent. So
especially with little ones, because they want to be in everything. Yeah. So,
So I got a question real quick because you just mentioned something that I was really interested in seeing all your videos, man. So I see like your word art, your graffiti on your videos. Have you ever actually like thrown up anything up like on a wall? And if you have, is there any crazy stories you got of like that actually happening?
So I've only done it in a legal way ever. So I'd be like hired to paint a graffiti mural.
Okay.
I did a tattoo shop. I did
nice.
I did a wall on my friend's studio where he paints custom Harleys and stuff.
That's dope.
But that was a long time ago, and it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. I don't even know if
we're critics, man.
Yeah.
No, it was super like just basic graffiti. Like there wasn't any style or flair to it at all. And I never finished it, so that's probably a lot of the reason why. But I also did my friend's basement in his pool table room. We painted all the walls to look like bricks, and then I graffitied over them with my airbrush and spray paint.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Those were sick. That was hard to paint over.
Yeah, because you know, like most of what we see on your TikTok is your lettering and that graffiti style stuff, but you know, I have noticed kind of hidden gems in there of your hyper realistic work, which is fucking phenomenal.
Thank you.
And I know that it takes a long time to do. So, you know, people on TikTok have very short attention spans. So seeing you do something that takes 80 hours and posting little clips and snippets here and there is not going to keep the fan base, you know, at
as engaged,
wanting more. So
right.
I do know that you do more of that stuff, and I you're phenomenal at it. You're way better at lettering than I could ever dream about being. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go into the next question I have. Now, I have seen you do some digital work.
Yep.
And you do traditional painting, and then of course you work with your colored pencils. Do you have a favorite medium that you like to work in?
Not really. I find such like pleasure in all of it.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Like just, you know, being like, it's the challenge of using that medium to present what I am seeing in my mind, the way I see it, like the basketball player. I've never done anything like that with Prismacolors. Like that's the most realistic Prismacolor drawing I've ever done in my life, and I've wanted to do it for a long time, but I didn't think I could.
Phenomenal.
I just was like, I was afraid of failing to myself, and so I was like, you know what? Screw it. I did that Michael Jackson portrait. I had just done my wife, and I did a posthumous portrait for a dear family friend who passed away. All like between June and August. And then September hit, and I was like, I'm gonna just I'm gonna do the basketball player. Like, it's time. Let's go. Like, let's just see if I can do this. I've had these Prismacolors for like 10 years. Half of them haven't even been used yet. Like, let's fucking do this. So
yeah,
I did it, man. And
I applaud
like,
you
just
for working with colored Prismacolor colored pencils. I cannot do it for some reason. I don't know what it is. It's blocking my head that I'm like, I can't. The way you're able to blend and do that hyperrealism is really phenomenal. And
man.
I'm just like, wow, that's absolutely gorgeous.
And you know what's funny about it too is like I don't even really know what I'm doing. Like, I'm just trying things. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like there's an instruction manual. I'm just winging it. And then people are like, dude, how do you
relate to that? I relate to that
people
so
like
hard.
Ask me to teach them how to do it, and I'm like, I don't really know how to teach you how to do it because I'm still teaching myself how to do it. Like, but I want to teach people. Like, that was my goal. That was what I wanted to do to get once I got 1,000 followers, was to like teach. And I don't know if you guys saw any of my early lives, but that's what it was. It was me drawing and explaining exactly what I was doing. But then it just evolved into, I got a bunch of friends now that hang out with me and we bullshit the whole time. So I don't really do that anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's essentially like how TikTok evolves. Cause the same thing, man, is like I first started when I was doing lives, I wanted to do like, showing off some like paintings and stuff. And then it just got to where we were all just hanging out and just BSing and started like dual living with each other and all that. And the guest thing it came in. So then we started like either being guests or inviting guests over. And so like the whole instructional portion of that live slowly dissipated, if I even pronounce that word correctly. And it just became like a huge hangout,
Yeah, it's cool.
There's this amazing community within the TikTok, app that for artists that we've all just kind of, came together and support each other and teach each other and do what we can to uplift each other, which I think is really, really amazing.
And inspire each other too. I don't know if you said
absolutely.
that.
Like I said, when I joined TikTok, it'd been 2 years since I'd even done anything. Like, you couldn't even walk through my garage, which is now my studio. Like, I had so much shit in here that I couldn't walk through it. And then I slowly started taking dump runs and building up a studio. And now it's like my sanctum sanctorium here, like where I just spend my time. And
sanctum sanctorium.
Yeah, right. And art is so therapeutic for me. Like, when I don't get to do it for a day or two, I'm constantly working on my art business, but when I don't actually get to paint or draw or do something, I go fucking crazy. Like, I just get anxiety and I forgot and missed how therapeutic that was for me.
Oh, same, dude. Like, I was in a really dark place right before I joined TikTok. Like getting to the point where I was like thinking that there was no point to anything because I'm just gonna die. So like, what's the point of even doing anything? Yeah, man. Like, it was bad. And I don't know. Like, I have a friend, my friend Mike. He has been pushing me to get on TikTok for like 3 or 4 years. He's like, dude, like, art is crazy. People, you're gonna blow up on there. Like, you got to get on there. And I was like, nah, man, it's just another Instagram. Like, I can't even buy a follower on Instagram. I promote my posts and nobody even looks at it anyway. So like, why would I want to go through that again? And finally, I just like was like, I was so miserable, dude. And I was like, I'm wasting my life. I'm sitting down here. This is like my studio area, and I wasn't creating anything. I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting down here, getting high and watching TV, like being a bum,
Yeah.
And one night, it was like 3 a.m, dude, and I just thought, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with yourself, dude? You have a talent that you need to be exercising and sharing with people. And I just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Download TikTok, and it's gonna keep me going, I think. And dude, like, you guys know, it's crazy. I mean, Marco, like, when you found me, and you shared me on your live that time, like, I owe everything to you, bro. Like, I blew up after that a little bit. I mean, I got like 3,000 followers or 3,600.
No, dude, it was your talent, bro. It was like, okay, So thank you. I'm not trying to say anything like
No,
bad or whatever, but bro,
yeah.
your talent, first of all, you're like way better than me, like 1,000 times better than anything that I've ever created in my life. All right, any of your pieces can outdo any of mine for sure.
No, I don't want to
But
hear. I don't like hearing that. I don't like hearing that. Your art is your art, and it's beautiful because it's your creation. My art is just what I can do. Like, I don't compare. I don't do that. I used to when I was younger. I don't compare myself to other artists anymore because it's just, for me,
That
it's
that right
for
there.
me it's damning. Like
yeah,
it'll fuck me up.
Yeah.
Because like
Oh, yeah.
I'll be so scared to try to get to that level that I can't think I can achieve. But now I'm just like, fuck it. Like, my shit's dope. Your shit's dope. Your shit's dope. Like, you guys both make amazing stuff that I would never even have to like dream about, you know? So anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you with all that, but go ahead.
No,
Mark.
you're
No,
good.
you know, it brings up a good point. Like when people always ask me, like, you know, there's always this preconceived notion of competition within art, and there's this like gatekeeping type of a mentality within artists. And I always tell people, I'm not in a competition with any other artist. I'm in a competition with myself. My next piece better be better than my last one.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
exactly.
That's my mentality. And whatever knowledge I have to spread, if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you, because none of what I know is something that I picked up on my own. It's just all of me like learning along the way from other artists. Where can we purchase Sean's art? We are gonna get to that in a few. Stay tuned for that, because I do have a question about that. But you know, some kind of going in here a little bit more. You know, as an artist, we all have things that inspire us. Like, what are some of the things that inspire you within your artwork? Like, I know you do a lot of graffiti and you do the hyper realism with the Prismacolors. What are some of the things in your day-to-day life or within your life that you just find that inspire you?
Honestly, like everything. I know that sounds really like lazy to say and cliche, maybe even.
I said the same
but
thing, bro.
like I find beauty in everything, and you know, my fence is hideous outside in my backyard right now. It needs to be painted, but I like to look at it and try to like find something in it that I can then, you know, use in a drawing or just sketch.
Sure.
You know, sketch what I see. Just so yeah, I mean, clouds, fucking mowing the lawn. I get inspired. You know, like it comes whenever it comes, and it can be anything.
I like that. I know you were a big music guy, because I hear you rocking out in your lives all the time, and you actually have a musician friend here that you've introduced me to, that you've met on TikTok. Does music have a big influence on how you create?
Absolutely, yeah. So when I was really like hyper focused on street art and getting like a style down and then expanding it to other styles, Linkin Park was like all I listened to, and those guys are, you know, I mean, they're street art influence all over their stuff.
Very much so, yeah.
So yeah, like 19, 20 years old, I was all about Linkin Park. I mean, I probably wore that CD out 5 times over, but like
Hybrid Theory.
Yeah.
Hybrid Theory.
Oh, it's the best. That's such a great album. So good. And I love the Reanimation album of it. That's got like the hip hop and techno mix with it. Like it's a fucking dope album. Anyway, yeah. So I always, even when I was painting a flower for my wedding on a big old panel, I was jamming out to like Lil Wayne or something. Like, you know, I've got to have it on. It helps just keep the mind clear of thought, because you're focused on the music and the artwork, and then you're just not thinking of anything else.
Yeah, definitely. I just started this piece. It's actually hanging out behind me right now, but I had something in my head of what I wanted to do, and then there was a song by Rise Against called House on Fire that came on, completely changed the scope of what I was doing, just from one verse. And Marco said this really well the other day. Like, he has to be careful of how he or what he's listening to as he's painting, because if he's listening, like, I think you said lo-fi or smooth jazz or Like Marco runs the gambit with music, and I'm like, I don't know how he does it, because like some of those things don't inspire me, but you know, more power to you if that's what you find inspiration from.
Everything but country is on my playlist.
Yo, you know what?
I'll listen to some outlaw country every once in a while, but like that
like
song came on.
I like some old school.
Yeah, that old school outlaw country, like Waylon Jennings and that you know. I'll put that on every once in a while if I'm in that kind of a mood. But that song came on and completely changed the whole scope of what I was doing, and evolved my painting and really made the painting into what it is. And that's why I titled that painting. I titled the painting the title of the song, which I do a lot. Like, so that painting is now called House on Fire.
That's
so yeah, music definitely plays a big influence into what I'm doing, so I was curious, like, how that works for you. Like, if you're painting and all of a sudden, like, the whole thing changes, like, you're going from Linkin Park to something else that's like hard rock, like say Slipknot or something. Does it start to like creep into what you're doing, or like to change the whole outcome at all, or are you hyper focused there?
I think initially, like, if I'm just starting a drawing, whatever's on would probably influence it. But then I go, you know, I just get into it, and and my plan paints itself as I go, you know, in my mind.
Okay.
So the music doesn't really have an effect. However, I do get inspired to create pieces based on lyrics. Yeah. So like or a bar of a song or whatever. Like, I'll hear it, and then I'll hurry and pull out my phone and write it down on the screen and save it. And I've actually drawn stuff based on lyrics. I don't have anything that I can just like grab right now, but I'll have to make a video about those, because that's really cool. I was going to ask you guys if you guys get the same
definitely
thing, because you got the inspiration from the title, and then even there's like lyrics can just set off like a whole thing too. So
man,
like music just like totally it just doesn't influence me, and it just doesn't inspire me. It actually kind of dictates sometimes what is going on. So like, not only with my brush strokes or anything like that, but in my head. So like, I actually had an idea a while ago, and I found out that I always mess the pronunciation of his name, but the lead singer to System of a Down,
Serge.
Thank you. So
what is it? Sarge?
Serge.
Yeah.
He actually did this a while ago, man. And I was at first I was like, oh man, I didn't think about this, right? Like, he did this first. He's super famous, so like I didn't want anyone to think I was copying him. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it anyways. Me and my buddy Jonathan. I told Jonathan, he's an amateur producer, or makes music. I told him, I was like, dude, I got this idea, and what I want you to do is I want you to make a song, just whatever you feel, just make a song. Try to make it sound like not your normal stuff, because I love his techno-y sound, but I wanted to do something different. I was like, try to do something that you wouldn't normally do, right? And then send it to me. So the idea was he was going to send me a song, and I was going to interpret that through paint. So we have this ongoing collab going. And so when I say like music can actually dictate what I do, like I really mean that I got to be careful with what I'm doing. And that's what this project's all about. It's supposed to show you
like synesthesia.
Synesthesia.
Like, synesthesia is when you hear colors.
Oh yeah, or what's the other one where you could taste color?
Like, I don't know what it's called. That's crazy shit.
It's like when you're painting. When you're painting something, and the music, like, it like dictates, like you can hear that color in your head, and it's like really kind of dictates how that painting's going. So synesthesia, I know a couple artists that are very
future based
synesthesia. We did have a question for what's the inspiration for Poison Berries?
Yeah.
That was a badass Tober prompt.
Oh, okay.
So it was day 2, I believe, and it was Scary Fruit, I think was what the prompt was called, Scary Fruit. So I was like, I'm gonna do. Well, I can't remember. I had a couple ideas before I came up with the strawberries, and I would just like, you know, think about it while I was laying in bed with my eyes closed, just trying to visualize stuff. And I thought of those strawberries because sometimes you get like those big freaking huge strawberries and you can tell it's like two that just didn't separate or something.
Yeah.
You know, like they're conjoined.
This didn't happen.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just do like two doofy looking strawberry dudes that are stuck together at the head, and like, you know, I had the guy drooling and the other one just kind of looks like he's cracked out. But yeah, like I never had the intention of doing the skull in there.
Oh, okay.
That was the infamous Posca pen fiasco.
Yeah, that was my first time. I just got them and I busted them out, and I was like, I'm gonna, you know, use them on this piece because it was all Prismacolor up to that point, and I was getting tired. Like, that shit's rough on your hands. Like, Prismacolors go hard, big time.
Yeah.
But, so I busted out those Poscas, man, and when I'm on Prismacolors, I'm pressing with a pretty good amount of pressure to saturate colors or blend even. And so when I switched to the Posca, you know, the tip goes in when you press it down. So that's how the paint's released on it. So I just was like, I was outlining it and I was doing pretty good. And then I took a break for a second, and then I went right back to finish outlining the black and just pushed down as hard as I could for some reason. Like, I was trying to dig through the paper and it just fucking spilled that paint. And that was the second paint spill actually on that piece. I was doing the seeds and I spilled a little bit of yellow, but I was able to get that cleaned up. But the black was like, I was screwed. So
I think it turned out amazing because you took something and ran with it and actually probably end up creating something that is far better than your original intention.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And people freaking love it. Like, it's one of my it's my most watched video, the creation of that, when I was like, oh shit, you know, I made a huge mistake and I crossed it out. Yeah. And I'm so glad I recorded myself doing that, because in my mind I was like, I'm about to throw this fucking thing away. I'm going to show these guys that I fucked it up and then that I had to cross it out and get rid of it. Like, that people seem to like that for some reason. So I'm going to try that. And then I was talking to Crazed and Justified Art. I think we were texting each other and I was like, I just fucking ruined this piece that I was never, I mean, it was just a daily prompt. Like, I was trying to get that shit done in that one day. And then it got put away for a while. And then I was like, I want to finish it. Anyway, I showed her a picture and I was like, I just ruined it. She's like, just give it a little bit of time and maybe you'll, you know, think of something. And sure as shit, like, it was right around Halloween. I stood up and I was just looking down at that black X and I was like, X-ray. Like, I could put some fucking skeletons in. I could put their conjoined skulls in the X-ray. Like, that's
yeah.
Let's do that. So I fucking did it. And then I spilled the white paint. I gotta show you.
Wow.
This is one of the prints I just had made. But right here, like, you see how the black is lower than the skulls? So that the X is actually, like, it's not a perfect X because I spilled a bunch of white paint here, and then I started painting it with a paintbrush to spread it around, and just for some reason decided to paint this up too high. And
you can't even notice. Like, you can't even tell.
Nah,
it pissed me off so bad. It's like, fucking stop spilling, for Christ's sake. Like, give me a break, man.
Yeah. Man, oh man, I couldn't imagine. Like, that would piss me off so bad. I've been working on pieces, and I work on my wall back here. I put everything up on the wall, and there's some Poscas where you don't even really have to put any pressure on them, and all of a sudden it just comes flooding out. Like, you almost take the tip off, and
it's like the worst feeling, dude, because you're just like, fuck, because it's not like you can just wipe it off.
Right.
You can't just wipe it up.
Generally, when I get to the Posca portion, it's like my finishing touches.
Exactly.
Yeah, same.
So I'm like, man, like, I fucked up some pieces, and I'm like, dude, I can't. I'm just like, yeah. But since you showed that print, let's switch gears to that. You just started selling your prints for the first time, right? This is your first kind of endeavor into selling your artwork?
Yeah,
You've
and I
never done it before?
want to say thank you to TNT Crochet Creations and Natasha. Without her, I never would have done it. She pushed me. She believes in me. She's a whiz at marketing and getting your shit out there. And she told me everything I needed to do for a week. And I tried to keep up and do everything. I would be a day or two behind what she was like telling me I needed to be, but
sure,
she kicked my ass in gear, and I fucking owe her everything. She's fantastic. Thank you so much, Natasha.
That's awesome.
For real. Yeah,
she's wondering if you had any prints left of it. It's right there.
Yes. So I still have. Let's see. I think there's 2 of these left. I only did 10, so you can see right there. This is whatever that number is.
7.
7 of 10. So I've sold 7 or 8. I have 2 or 3 left. I have to make sure. And then I don't have any more of the prints of the snakes.
Oh, wow,
the snake and the skulls. No, yeah. I've only sold 2 of them. So I've only sold 3. So I only had the shop print 3 of them because they've got my files. I can just call them up and be like, hey,
gotcha.
I need 5 prints of the skulls with the snakes.
Sure.
And they'll just get them done for me. So I'm just going to do that instead of buying all the prints at once because they're expensive.
Yeah.
They're not cheap. They're not cheap prints. They're really good ones.
No, I know how prints are. I have a love-hate relationship with prints because I'm like, God, they're such a pain in the ass to keep in stock, and so I only keep a couple in stock at once. That way I have them on hand. But I'm like, for some reason, I hate doing it. Even though it's the easiest revenue generator as an artist is to have prints. And I don't know why I can't do it, but I need to get better. But I think like I would love to see more of your work available as prints. Like, because you do some awesome work. Like,
thank you.
You could definitely. So because you're a stay-at-home dad, yeah.
I am.
Yeah, so you're like me. Like, you get to stay at home, hang out with the kids all day, and then do artwork on the side. I mean, how old's your youngest?
8. So 8? I've got it pretty good right now. He's down to play Fortnite as long as I'll let him. So, and usually I go drawing way too long, and he plays Fortnite way too long. But whatever, like,
yeah,
you can do.
Yeah, I got a 3-year-old, so my days are pretty much okay. I got to make sure you don't hurt yourself, and you're fed, and so I can't do anything when it comes to art related. Like, if it's anything I can do on my phone, I can do it. But like, as far as like actually getting out in my studio, it doesn't happen unless he lets me, like, while he's napping, which doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah,
that's kind of why I didn't draw much for a long time, is because I had 2 they're 22 months apart. So when they were both real little, like, it was just impossible. But I was working when they were really little. I didn't stop working full time until just this last June. Or no, it was June 2020. Was the last time I had a job.
Yeah, and then mine was November of 2020 when I finally was like, all right, I think I can do this full time, and I'm going to pursue my art career and finally start investing into myself rather than somebody else.
Yep, exactly, dude.
I'm tired of making somebody else money for a small amount of wage. And
and like I could go get a job, like a sales job, making 3-6 figures, but it's like that's miserable. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want. I've never been happier than I am right now, and I don't care how broke I am. I am happy as shit, and it's great because I'm doing my own shit.
Awesome. That is awesome.
I love hearing that.
So awesome to hear, man.
Yeah.
Like I have a $200 car in the garage. Like, I don't need, I don't have a car payment. I don't have shit like that. Like, so whatever. And I don't care what kind of car I drive anymore. I used to care. I used to have nice whips, but now, like, I don't give a shit. I've been married for 11 years. I don't have anybody to impress out there.
Yeah. And honestly, like what I spend my money on is art supplies.
Me too, dude.
I don't even spend that much on art supplies anymore because I make it last. But a car to me is a tool. So as long as it gets me from point A to point B, I don't care where the fuck I'm driving.
Right, right. Like Tyler spoke the other day. He was like talking because I showed him. I was like, oh, check out what I got for the podcast, right? I got a brand new GoPro just for the podcast, and he's all like, hey, does anyone else think like Marco's low key like rich? And I'm like, no, dude, I just work a lot, bro.
I'm like,
Who said that?
I'm a Marco.
Tyler?
Are you independently wealthy and holding out on us, or what? You know,
Marco's secretly a trust fund baby. That
yeah,
keeping a secret.
Right.
Well, that's why he's living on the peninsula in Alaska. That's where he's got to be.
I was like, no, bro.
Mhm.
Actually, the streetwear is actually going really good. I'm just lying about all the struggles that I'm doing.
Absolutely. So,
Dude, I need to have Marco print some shirts for me.
yeah, definitely. Going back,
I brought the logo back. Anyway,
to your two different
I brought
styles.
the logo back.
You know, you have your hyperrealism and you have your graffiti style. Do you have a preference between the two that you prefer working on, or is it just like kind of a balance there?
It's a pretty fair balance, and I mean, I do other stuff too. Like, I've always prided myself in trying to master all of the mediums, right? Like, because I had that opportunity to try them all growing up in my school. So, yeah, like I do watercolor stuff. I don't do a lot. I do large murals. I haven't done one in a long time. Probably since like 2012, I think was the last time I did one.
Dang.
I've done sculpture. I mean, you name it. Like I'm down for whatever. I don't just have the two. Yeah. That's just what I've kind of been showcasing, I guess, lately.
Yeah.
I started my TikTok showing off my realism stuff, and then recently, started doing the graffiti art for people that bought my prints when I needed help. And then that kind of kept the name stuff going. And Natasha has been, a pretty great collector of mine so far. She's had me do had me do her name for her husband's name, and then her daughter's name, which is the one that I just released and sent. She's gonna get it. She should have it on Monday, and I can't wait.
That's awesome.
I clear coated it, and it fucking looked amazing. I didn't want to let it go. I wanted to keep it. It was rough. It was rough after seeing it finished.
So I got a specific question, man, about one of the pieces that you did, and it goes back to you were talking about the basketball player Rudy. Is it Gobert?
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
Okay. So one of your videos, you were saying that he actually saw it and commented, which is super, super like awesome, right?
He saw it on Twitter and he liked it. He didn't comment though.
Oh, okay. So he saw it on Twitter and liked it, and you were trying to. Your next goal was to try and get the owner of the Jazz to see how you can possibly donate it for like a auction for charity or something, right?
Not an auction. So what I was hoping to do, and it sucks because I got really busy with commissions in October, and I've kind of been steadily doing those through this point. So I didn't really get I didn't get a chance to finish it. I feel like it's not quite finished yet. And I tried to pull it down the other day and do it on a live, but I was just too distracted. I couldn't do it. Anyway, so it's been hanging on the easel since like September 30th.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's going to happen this season. Maybe we can try to work something out over the summer. And then what I want to do is sell it in the arena.
There you go.
In the team store. Okay. So they can have it on display. And I want to do a really limited run of some really nice Guichelet fancy prints, right? That we can sell for $1,200 or whatever. There's a lot of people in the arena have a lot of money to spend. And if they see something really quality that they like, then they're likely to buy it, especially if they know that 50% of the sale is going to go to the Five for the Fight Foundation, which is what I want to do. I'm not saying that that's what it's doing. That's what I want it to do. So Five for the Fight was created by the owner of the Jazz before he was the owner of the Jazz. And it's you donate $5 for cancer research, and it's Five for the Fight, and that's their corporate patch on their jersey now. The Jazz is Five for the Fight. They're the only they're the only NBA team that has like a charitable patch. You know, everything else is like corporate, you know, like FedEx and shit
Sponsors
like
and all
that. Yeah. And it's the owner's charity. And he's a Utah dude. He born and raised here, went to BYU, started his business here, and became a billionaire. And now he owns the Jazz with Dwayne Wade, which is awesome. And I think he's a young dude. He's only like 40 something. And
Nice.
I think I could connect with him or his people and make that deal happen. Like I really do. I don't need a lot of money back from it because I can sell those prints for the rest of my life.
Right.
I want to help the people. I want to help fucking find a cure for cancer, man. It affects everybody and it sucks. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a painting right now that I donated for a raffle to help raise some money for somebody who's fighting for their life with cancer. So I think that's awesome, and it's a great cause. And I mean, it's a beautiful piece of artwork, and you said you're not even finished with it, so I can't even imagine how much more beautiful it can get. So
just some detail work, just little detail work. I'm not going to do a background or anything. It's just a little detail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that's
great.
Thank you.
So I know you talk about art when you were in high school and how you had the opportunity to work in a lot of different mediums and things like that. But did you have any formal training past high school?
Yeah, so I've done a few stints in college. Right out of high school, I went to our local university in Ogden, Utah, called Weber State University. It's where Damian Lillard went.
You're speaking my language here. I'm a Blazers fan, so.
Yeah, so that's where Lillard went. So you know, that's the town I grew up in.
Nice.
So I went there for a semester and failed out. Like I just wasn't ready for it. I was a shitty student in high school. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like Marco said, he promised I wouldn't lie tonight. So I was a shitty student in high school. So I didn't do well going to college like right away. I was in party mode and just being a stupid ass. In 2003, I started up again. I went to a local, it's called Eagle Gate College. It's just one of those for-profit schools that can give you a degree in anything in about a year or two. And then dropped out of that because work was just too much, and I couldn't do both. And then I went back again in 2014, and it was all online, and that was the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. And so, I mean, I don't know if I got any like training from any of those programs. I met some great artists. In fact, I have a close friend now. His name's Max Grundy. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but his artwork is phenomenal and it's worldwide. Like this guy is very well known.
Sounds very familiar.
He was my instructor when I first started at Eagle Gate, and he saw potential in me, and he was a fantastic artist. So we hit it off, and we've kind of stayed in touch, and that dude's blowing up. He's done shit for Disney now. Like it has like a steady rotation with Disney. Yeah, he just did some huge Star Wars pieces for him. You guys, I'll have to send you the links from his Instagram. He doesn't do TikTok yet. Sure. He has an account, and he actually he hit me up just like a month ago and was like, dude, I'll pay you to run my TikTok account for me. Because I was like telling him how much extra exposure he could get and how many more people he could reach. I haven't answered him yet because I can barely keep up with my own. But yeah, like he's probably beyond him. I didn't really learn anything like from those schools, so it just seemed like a waste of time.
I went to art school. I went to Southern Oregon University, and I went through the whole program. I ended up I dropped out in my senior year, my last semester, so I could actually, or I have 2 semesters left before I get my bachelor's. So I'm did a lot of schooling, but it wasn't the actual art classes where I felt like I learned a lot. It was the art history classes where I felt like I gained the most knowledge. And which is funny because there were some of the ones I just kind of despised doing, but they're required. But I gained a lot of knowledge from them, and I have a deep respect for art history now. But it's funny how the art classes, because it takes you right back to the basics, and you have prompts, and as an artist, you don't want to work with inside a box, and they put you in a box, and you have to, oh, well, we're drawing this today, or you have to do this today, or this is your prompt, and stay within those guidelines. And it's something I just fucking despised.
Yep.
And so I'm like, we're doing this project right now in our Discord, and I'm like, I'm getting PTSD, you guys. I don't know if I can do this. Like, it's taking me back to some of my college years I hate. But, I feel like where I learned the most was from my fellow students that I got to work with.
Yep.
And YouTube. Honestly, YouTube is just such a wealth of knowledge. Save yourself $60,000, $80,000 and just go on YouTube. You're not going to get the piece of paper, but you're going to learn just as much.
Right. My advice to any young artist out there who's like thinking about doing art as a career and thinking about art school, honestly, I say skip art school and go to business school, get an MBA in business, and then you'll just know how to sell your shit. Like, you'll be a marketing genius, and you'll be rich off of your artwork. That's what you love to create. So dude, I'm so pissed. I don't even know how much I have in student loans for stupid fucking pointless art classes.
Yeah. It's too much. I have mixed feelings about the higher education system, which we won't get into, but yeah, I feel you there.
That's for another show.
Right. Well, let's just leave it with this. I was a student loan debt collector when I left school to make some extra money, and that really jaded me. So
I bet that made you hate your life, huh?
I'm like, wow, you have a $400,000 doctorate and you can't get a job at McDonald's because you're way overqualified and no jobs work. It's crazy. Anyways, it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes.
Yeah. Live and learn.
Yeah. Business and marketing. Business. Absolutely. So I'm featuring you in my Halloween. I'm really excited about that. You did this piece of the Crypt Keeper, and I was like, bro, can you put that in black and white and let me do an interview with you? And then the interview was supposed to just be me send you a questionnaire, I do a write-up on you, and then I was like, hey, I can do a podcast because I don't have enough shit on my plate. So here we are.
Right?
So we're going to get a little bit into that Halloween-y type shit real quick here. Are you a horror fan?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, you are.
Oh,
okay.
Absolutely. I'll watch anything. I'll watch all of the scary stuff. I don't care.
All the scary stuff. So, like, what are some of your favorite horror Halloween movies? Like, what's your go-tos?
You know what's funny? This last October, I didn't watch a lot of TV. I was just too busy.
I hear you.
But, I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 3. Well, 3's pretty cheesy.
Yeah, Dream Warriors.
Yeah, 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are like, they hold a special place in my heart. I was 6 years old the first time I saw Freddy, and it was at the babysitter's house, but I was not at her house. I was at a neighbor kid's house down the road, and there was a bunch of us kids. We were all from ages like 12 to whatever I was, 6, maybe 7, I don't know. So, and this kid had access to every VHS that was in his house, and a bunch of them were horror movies, and we watched the shit out of some Freddy Krueger, and that was what hooked me. So I think that's probably, like, if I was going to just sit down and be like, I'm going to watch something, like, it would probably be that. And I love Freddy versus Jason. That movie is fucking great. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I was just about to bring that up.
Freddy has great one-liners, and I think that Freddy was kind of that tipping point with borderline horror comedy.
Yeah.
Because of his one-liners, which I like.
Robert Englund was the master with. I mean, he just like his Freddy Krueger is just like nobody will ever be able to replicate that.
No.
Even if they have like the snarkiness or the one-liners or whatever, it's not going to be the same. Like his face, everything about him was just perfect. He was made for that role, I think.
Yeah, and kind of like the guy who played Pinhead in Hellraiser. You're never going to be able to capture Doug Bradley. Doug Bradley just embodied that character. And I know they did switch it up to a female version, which I think is fucking awesome. For this,
I didn't know they were doing that.
Oh yeah, they're filming. They actually have a TV series and a movie that they're coming out with. I think there's a Hulu or Netflix series coming out of Hellraiser, and there's a female version for the movie, which in the comic books there's a female version. So I think it works well.
I didn't know Hellraiser was a comic book. Is that what it originated as?
No, it's originally a book called The Hellbound Heart. And who the hell wrote that book? I own the book. Clive Barker.
Clive Barker?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That dude can write some horror shit.
So, Candyman? The movie that I fucking despise.
You need to watch it, bro. I'll watch it with you.
Not happening. Not happening.
It's so dumb. Dude, it's cheesy like Freddy is, bro. It's not even scary.
I was watching clips on YouTube, and like the terrifying, like I was getting goosebumps. Like it just terrified me then, and I'm like, nope, I can't do it. Like no.
I love it. The only movie that's ever made me feel like that was the first Paranormal Activity.
Interesting.
Did you guys get that show? That movie fucked with me. Well, actually, okay, no. I'm gonna go back a little bit to like the late '90s when the Blair Witch Project came out.
Okay.
I went and saw that in the movie theater. My girlfriend knew what it was, so she suggested we go see it. I had never even heard of it. Okay. So I go in there and I'm watching this fucking movie, and I don't know if it's real or if it's like a production. Like they did such a good job, and I had no idea what I was walking into. So I hadn't seen trailers for it or anything like that. That movie blew me away and scared the shit out of me because I was going camping the next day for like a while.
Oh.
So I was just like thinking about like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy, dude. I don't want to deal with, I don't want to fucking, I'm going to like attract some energy that's going to follow me to the woods now. And it's going to be bad. But then the first time I watched the first Paranormal Activity, it was at my house. It was just me and my roommate. And every time like that rumble started before like something weird would happen, like my eyes would just start watering like crazy because I was so like I was just like frozen with the fear from that rumble sound. It was because I didn't know what was going to happen, and it was going to be weird as fuck, to watch like a girl get moved around her bedroom and she has no idea, and her husband's asleep. Like that shit was crazy.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't like those movies. Oh, I don't really like the Annabelle movies either, man. Fuck that.
Yeah, paranormal movies for me, like I love paranormal stuff. Like I watch all of those like Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures. I like that shit. It's entertaining, and I've had experience in my life, so I like that shit. But when they take it to the movie magic and ramp it up to 20, I'm like, no, I'm good. You're just taking something that's already freaky and then compounding on it because, I'm good.
Yeah.
My wife's watched a lot of those. I'm like, no, you can have those. I'm like a big horror comedy guy. I like Shaun of the Dead, Zombie
Love that.
Deathgasm. Those are like some of my favorite. Like, so I like a little bit of laughter in there. Do you have a favorite genre of horror?
Like, what do you mean exactly? Like, how do you want me to break that down?
You have like slashers.
Like slashers.
Okay. So like slashers, comedies.
Yeah, and then you have like the gore factor with
gory,
like psychological horror and I mean, there's all these subgenres of horror. That,
Yeah,
Found
okay.
film.
I
We
really,
were just talking about that, right? That's a genre. The found film genre.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I like the psychological thrillers like Silence of the Lambs and the what was the second one called? Red Dragon or whatever.
Yeah, the
Red Dragon. There's Hannibal and
Hannibal. Oh, Hannibal was like fucking amazing. That movie was crazy.
There's actually one that came out pre-Silence of the Lambs that most people don't know of.
Oh, is that right? I don't know.
Silence of the Lambs.
Called Manhunter.
Interesting.
And it had, what's the guy from CSI Las Vegas, that OG dude that's been on there for 30 years or however long. Like the main character. Yeah. I see. Anyways, the guy from CSI Las Vegas was like one of the characters, like actors that played in that. So, like
Really?
early like 90s, I think, maybe even earlier than that, because I know the Silence of the Lambs came out in the 90s.
Silence of the Lambs is early 90s, like 92, 93, something like that. Maybe even early, maybe 91.
So Manhunter is in the same franchise, but it's before Silence of the Lambs.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
Huh?
91.
91, yeah.
That's wild.
So you were like, I guess you already told me
like
what your first horror movie was, which is Freddy.
Yeah, sorry, I jumped the gun on that one.
No, you're good.
No, yeah, for real.
I would say, or what? No, the Freddy fucked me up though. Like I loved it, but my mom found out that I was watching those movies because I couldn't go to sleep because I thought he was in my closet. Like,
yeah.
And my bed was right next to the closet. I had to share a room with my sister because our basement wasn't finished and we just had a 2-bedroom house. So we had to share a room, and my bed had to be right next to the closet door, man. And like closets and kids and darkness just don't go well together, especially if you watch Freddy.
That's how Candyman was for me as a child. Like that fucked me up. Like,
yeah.
My dad would get up in the middle of the night and I'd be sleeping on the floor next to him on the bed. And he'd be like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, nightmares.
I saw a movie. Guy with a
No, after 2 years of him waking up and stepping on me, he was like, "Enough's the fucking enough, man."
Yeah. Get it together, bro.
Yeah. You need to just tighten it up, man. Tighten it up. But yeah, fucking no, thank you. Like I think what was it? Just Say Ducky was repeating Candyman in the
Oh no.
I had to put it up.
I'm like, you put that juju on here. I'm checking myself in the frame here, making sure I'm alone.
Candyman. Oh shit.
Oh yeah. So the theme of this month's Halloween is comic books. I'm doing horror comics. I decided I wanted to put a theme to it, and now I don't know if you knew this, but the Crypt Keeper was actually in a comic book before they even made the show.
Yep.
So that's why I was like, "Oh, this is perfect. You've already done that." Now, are you a comic book fan at all, though?
Not in a way. Like I'm a fan of the artwork,
Okay.
but I don't get into reading the stories.
Storyline.
Man, I'm super pissed. I had it was either a 30th or a 25th anniversary Spider-Man that had a foil cover.
Yeah.
And I read the shit out of that thing. That was the only comic book I've ever owned, and I ruined it. And now I don't have it anymore, and I bet it's worth a shitload of money.
Oh, yeah. Spider-Man for sure.
Yeah. But I used to love the artwork was just fascinating to me. So I would replicate it as much as possible. I used to collect like the trading cards of like Marvel trading cards. I don't really care much for DC characters. I think they're kind of goofy. Marvel's like always had like the best shit to me, like the best figure drawings. I'm sorry. I love Batman. I do. I got a special place in my heart for the Dark Knight, but I don't really care much for anybody else.
I can feel that. I mean, DC definitely. I mean, the big two. Like, I'm more of an independent comic book reader. So like I'm a big Image fan, which Spawn is from Image.
Oh yeah,
So
I like Spawn.
you know, but I read a lot of horror comic books because that's where, you know, I like what I like to read.
That's what I was gonna bring up. Is I was gonna ask, like, since we're talking about the Crypt Keeper, Tales from the Crypt, right?
Yeah.
So I remember a show called Creep Show that was like,
Yeah, Creep Show.
right. It was like this almost
Similar.
same thing, but way cheesier, like
Yeah.
way cheesier.
It's Stephen
Yeah.
King. Bro.
Like
That's
which
Stephen King.
Stephen King did Creep Show.
But
that shit was goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Stephen
actually
King
came
and
out.
George A. Romero.
Didn't he come out
Wow.
on almost all of the little sequences, or was it only on one of them? Because I know he played a character.
He played the guy who turned to grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember. Yep, that's what I remember. He played the dude that turned into grass. So
Yeah.
there was also a Creep Show comic, right?
Yep.
I own it.
Okay, so
Of course I own it. I own everything Stephen King.
so what do you prefer?
Me?
Yeah, do you prefer
Or Tyler?
like both of you guys actually?
Oh,
This interview is about Sean, but I'm just curious, man. I don't know many people that actually know Creep Show.
As far as like Creep Show movies or television programs, I only know of like the one that has like the three different stories.
Miniseries, right? Yeah. Oh, there was two.
There's two. There's Creep Show 2. So they have like 3 episodes each in those,
I
right?
remember.
3 or 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Crypt Keeper and Tales from the Crypt was so good when I was a kid. I was terrified of the Crypt Keeper. Like I wouldn't watch the opening sequence, and I would plug my ears because I didn't want to hear him laugh.
Gotcha.
So I was terrified of him, but I loved the show, like the stories. So I would watch the stories, but then when he would come on screen, it was lights out for me.
I kind of feel you on that, man. I really do feel you on that.
Yeah, I was like that as a kid too. Like the Crypt Keeper creeped me out.
Yeah, but now I like love him. I think he's the coolest looking thing. Like I'm just amazed by him. I follow the guy that did his voice on TikTok.
Yeah,
he's great. Like it's funny, and he's really hilarious. Like the Crypt Keeper is just a jokester. Like he's a Freddy Krueger, you know.
Yeah.
So I would have to say for me it's Tales from the Crypt, just because that show ran for years of my life that were like I looked forward to Saturday nights on HBO like every week. But anytime Creep Show comes on and I see it, I'm watching it. But the favorite goes to the Crypt.
Do you remember the Tales from the Crypt cartoon?
No.
I do actually.
So they had a Tales from the Crypt cartoon, very similar, but for kids. So the Crypt Keeper was still there in cartoon form. But it was for kids. I don't think they had a ton of. I don't think they had a ton of like maybe 2 seasons. But Tales from the Crypt cartoon.
It was pretty short.
I may have seen it. I don't know. What do you remember? What it aired on?
Oh, dude, it was a Saturday morning cartoon thing, like same era as the Beetlejuice cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I remember the Beetlejuice cartoon. I watched that shit every day after school.
Dude,
I don't remember the Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, I picked it up. I own like I think the 1st and 2nd season, and I don't know if they had any more of that. But yeah, it's like, but it's very much kind of Scooby-Doo-ish when it comes to the storylines. So it wasn't super scary, but you had the animated Crypt Keeper. They had a whole toy line for him too. I have a bunch of toys. I have all the toys carded. Yeah, I have them carded. I'm kind of a nerd. I keep telling you guys this, and you don't believe me, but I'm a fucking nerd, you guys. Like,
I totally believe
nerdy
you.
as they come.
I don't now. It's getting even deeper. Like that rabbit hole is just getting lower and lower. Like I get it. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Like what, for reals, you got that too? Damn.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. But back, we got a little off topic there. But back to comic books. You know, you say you're a Marvel fan, and you don't read a lot of you don't read them. But do you have a favorite villain?
I was thinking about this question when I watched last week's episode.
It's hard, man. It's a hard one.
It is really hard. I'm just trying to run through my brain real fast. My favorite villain is probably...
This is where we need the Jeopardy theme song.
I think it's... I'm going to have to say the Joker.
Okay.
Well, you going DC?
Well, yeah, I mean,
right?
dude, Batman. I mean, how can you not love Batman? Batman.
1990 or 1989. Like we talked about this last week. 1989 is just like.
I still remember going to see that shit.
Yeah,
my dad.
It just that opened it up for so many people of our generation to. I mean, and at that point, I mean, I don't even.
And Jack Nicholson's Joker is the best of all, in my opinion. I don't care what you Heath Ledger fans say. He's great, but
oh man,
so
Heath Ledger was fabulous, but Jack Nicholson killed it. And I know it's a completely different like style, but come on, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, well, I agree.
It's also different. Like it's different personalities. I respect all of them except for Leto. But anyway, so like I
never saw his.
Just because of the different aspects that they were bringing, you know, like Jack Nicholson had the mobster. He wasn't really like super crazy in my opinion. It was a little bit more. It was in between. Trying to remember his name.
Riddler?
Man, Romero.
Oh,
Caesar Romero.
Yeah, Caesar. So it was right in between Caesar and Ledger's, in my opinion, of craziness and cartooniness. You know, like it was right there. So it was beautifully done. Caesar's, I love that because even though it was way before my time, you know, I did grow up with that. The Adam West Batman, like I loved it. It was so cheesy, so cartoony. The Heath Ledger was like the pinnacle. I mean, I must have seen. I paid I don't know how many different times to go watch that movie in the theaters. Like I watched it midnight showing Thursday. Then I took all my friends the next day to watch it. I took my mom. Like I used every different reason to be like, dude, have you seen it? No, we're going now. You know, like we went. I paid so many different times.
You know what?
It's so good. The scene when he's walking out of the hospital and he's like trying to get the fucking thing to blow up.
That was so beautiful.
Dude, like, come on. That gives me the chills just thinking about it.
What movie that I did that with was 300, where I went.
Really?
I've never seen that.
Shut the fuck up! No way!
I swear to God, I've never watched it.
Oh my God, that's a comic book too.
It is.
It's a graphic novel.
I know, yeah, it is.
Frank Miller, right?
Frank Miller's 300. Oh no, is it Frank Miller?
I'm gonna look it up.
Scott Snyder directed it. But yeah, I think it's Frank Miller. But it's so beautifully done. Like it's good. And I watched it in the theater 3 times. Like
wow.
I kept going. You haven't watched it? We're driving an hour away because that's where the theater was to watch it.
Damn.
Wow.
Because the theater in my hometown went up in smoke. Like it burned to the ground.
Oh shit.
So we had to drive an hour away to go watch it. And I was like, let's go. I'll pay. I'll buy gas. We're going to the theater. And like I haven't watched it in years, and I don't know if it still holds up to my early 20s.
It still holds up, man.
It's David Ketcherside. I've lost all respect for Sean now.
Oh no, I infuriate him on the regular, so I'm not surprised.
Oh, yeah, it's good though. Like I might just buy you a copy and send it to you because I think I had 2 at one point.
Well, don't because I can just dial it up. I'm sure I've got it. Don't spend any money on it. I can dial it up at any point. Yeah, I got apps and things.
Amazon rent it for like $2 or something now.
And this is the movie that made all men completely envious of Gerard Butler.
Yeah, that guy doesn't look like that anymore.
Don't worry, most of it was CGI.
That's what I heard, and that's what kind of like turned me off from it. Was like,
but it was beautifully done, dude. It was beautifully edited. It was beautifully shot.
Does the CGI hold up? Like, is it still believable?
Oh yeah. No, okay, so first of all, I really don't think it was like fully CGI, man. I think those guys were cut as hell, but the makeup artists like added more definition and tone to their muscles, you know. So like, it wasn't that I really don't think they added CGI muscles, man.
Dude, it's a great cast. It's a great cast. So you know who the guy who plays Magneto in the new, the younger Magneto in the new X-Men movies? He's in it,
Oh,
and he plays one of the Spartans, and like his character is pretty funny. And yeah, just watch it and get back to me. We may have to schedule another interview just to talk to you about 300 after.
yeah, I'll make you a deal. I'll make you a deal. I'll watch 300 if you
Don't
watch.
say it. Don't say it. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
Candyman. Come on, bro. Just kidding. I'll watch it. You don't have to watch it.
I had my experience with it, but 300 is really good.
You know what? I feel you on the Candyman thing. The original Pet Sematary is really hard for me to watch still. That movie scared the fucking bejeebers out of me. But I'm telling you, still to this day, I cannot look at Zelda. I cannot see her. I cannot hear her. I don't want to see her spine all twisted up and crazy. I won't watch those scenes. I can't do it, man. That shit terrified me. My sister fucked me up, man. I would hold my eyes closed and she'd pull them open and make me watch and make me see. She fucked with me, man. She made me watch Poltergeist, and that shit scared the crap out of me. That white-haired man that looked like the Quaker Oats dude. Like,
yeah, Poltergeist is pretty fucked up, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really.
They used real corpses in that shit, man.
Yeah, they used real skeletons.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, real
skeletons. At the end of the movie, when it's flooding and they're in those skeletons that are popping up. It was cheaper to buy real skeletons than it was to get fake ones, so they bought the real ones.
This is mind blowing. How you fucking get? Hey, I need like 80 skeletons. You got some? Yeah, man, we got you. You're good.
Yeah, black market rolling on with like a van with no windows and stuff.
And that was a Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wasn't it only PG-13?
I think so.
Dude,
they're here.
Oh God.
All right, we'll get out of the horror comic book and kind of just go up with some wrap up questions here. What is your ultimate goal as an artist? What with your art career?
Goal or dream? Because I don't really set goals, which I know I should. It's just not something I do because I can't focus on stuff.
Sure.
Or I'll tell myself, you need to do this, and then I'll just forget completely. My dream, I'll say my dream, and then I'll try to come up with a goal. My dream is to, and I wrote this down back in college, and it was something I wanted within 5 years. I wanted to be nationally recognized. I wanted to be known across the country as an artist and be able to travel and do murals, get paid ridiculous amounts of money. And it's not real. I'm not trying to be rich and famous or anything like that, but I just want I want my kids to be comfy. They're comfy because I sacrifice so much and my wife sacrifices so much. We give our kids every comfort they could ever want. But I don't know. I feel like they've seen me kind of just be a bum dad for a while, and I want them to see what a person can actually do with with the talent that they're given. So that's what I want to do. I want to show them that your dreams can come true. As cheesy as that sounds.
You know what? That's exactly what I said to myself and to my wife when I embarked in this venture myself. Is I want to show my kids that if you work hard and put in the effort, that if you have a dream and you can attain it, and I don't need much. Comfort is all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for fame and fortune here. I want to live comfortably. I want my kids to grow up with whatever they need. And
you don't want to have to be fuck, I have negative $20 in my checking account. Shit.
Right.
Shit. I'm sick. I mean, that sucks, dude. That's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah. and so and I don't require a lot, and kind of like what you said, you don't require a lot, that you don't have a car payment and things like that. But like I said,
barely have a running vehicle.
Yeah,
two of the windows are duct taped shut because the regulators fucking failed on them, and I'm like, whatever, I don't care. I'll duct tape my windows. I do not care. I do not care.
I mean, just being able to get out there and put yourself out there as an artist is difficult. Making a living is difficult, but it's attainable. And if you work hard with it, you can certainly do that.
And I've never believed that as much as I do now, from after joining TikTok and meeting all of you guys. I mean, all of you guys that are watching and everybody that's not watching, like, wow. Like we fucking like rock for each other. It's crazy and it's so great. Like we all just rock for each other, man. Like I support artists. Like I've got Jeremy right there. There's Days up there. Dan Tipton is back there. We've got a Third Eye Abstract. We've got some Magnets and Mischief and little Nadine action back here. Cut and Burn.
Cut and Burn, yeah.
Your books are up there in that folder so they don't get messed up. Like, it's great, man. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah. No, I fully think that what you're wanting to do and wanting to attain is completely achievable, and you're on the right path to do that. We just got to get you get some more prints out there, and you getting to sell originals. And I mean, that's the hard part. Pricing your art can be difficult, and getting it out there. I
hate pricing it. It's hard, man, because it's hard to be confident in the price.
Hell yeah, dude. Do you know how many discussions me and Tyler have had with the whole pricing stuff?
Yeah, Marco.
Dude, I did some artwork. I did some artwork 2 years ago, some digital pieces for a horror movie, a short film. It's The Telltale Heart.
One of my favorite poems, man.
A friend that I kind of grew up with in Ogden is an amazing producer, director, writer. Like the guy has his own hip hop group. Like he's a badass motherfucker, right? He made this movie and it's getting like national recognition, awards after awards after awards. Like I'll send you guys the links. He's on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The movie's amazing.
Edgar Allan Poe stories, dude. The Telltale Heart.
So I did those pieces, man, and like before I agreed to do them, I said, "What's your budget for these?" And his response was, "You take care of us and we'll take care of you." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. Like that's leaving the door open." So I fucking slayed these pieces. Excuse me. Holy crap. I shouldn't have drank a beer while we were on. I apologize for that, guys. And like I knew they were worth a lot of money because I mean I don't know if you guys have seen them. I do have a video of one of them. It's actually two of them, and there's a heart that I drew, like a human heart that looks super realistic, and it's a digital piece. And then there's one that has like an eye that's getting like spread open like this, and there's a hand in the eye. Have you guys seen those?
I haven't, but I will definitely go look for them.
And and it's crying a demon, like the tear is a demon face. It's fucking cool, guys. Like the hand in the eye is made out of the
I want to say yes now
the
that
veins.
You're explaining it. Yeah, I want to say like I have seen that. I think you may have sent me the video when you posted it.
Yeah, I might have. Anyway, I sent him the files, and then I sent him a Cash App request for X amount of dollars. And as soon as I sent it, it was nothing but like second guessing myself, wondering if he was going to pay me. I knew he was good for it, but like I didn't know how he would receive that.
Sure.
Right.
That request for that amount of money. He loved them. He loved everything about it. He was happy to pay me for it. Like there was no reason for me to even question myself whatsoever. But it didn't make it any easier. It still hasn't gotten easier. It's really hard to do.
Did you feel like, damn, I should have asked for more because they didn't even bat an eye?
No, I think I priced them fairly. I'm, I'm not. I don't want to do something like that, where I think I can get
Because
like
I know,
$5,000
like,
out of somebody. But
I'll get a figure in my head, and I don't do this so much anymore, but I used to. I'll get a figure in my head of what I want for a piece, and then somebody will ask how much that piece is, and I'll cut it in half. And I don't know
yeah,
why I do that, because
I do it all the time.
and so there was a piece that I was like,
It's.
what?
I think it's a fear. I think it's a fear of them rejecting the deal
The
at that
original.
point. Like,
Yeah,
they'll be like, no, that's I can't. No.
Yeah, I'm always in my own head.
That's
like
what
that too, man.
that's what is going on in my head. That's all I see. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, so like I had this piece and I wanted 1,400. That was the figure I wanted, was 1,400 for this piece. Somebody asked me and I said $700, and they didn't even bat an eye at it. And I was like, "Fuck," it was a missed opportunity, and I screwed myself over. But I'm happy that piece went to a good home and that somebody loved it that much, and I got a good amount of money out of that piece, and I was really happy that it went to somebody who appreciated it. But I have to stop second guessing myself, and for the most part I have. But selling your artwork is definitely a hard thing to do.
Yeah, and I think all of us have to kind of stop second guessing ourselves, man. And it's not just with pricing, it's like with different things that you want to do, like how Sean was saying earlier, like I didn't know, should I make these prints, and then TNT kind of pushed them into doing it. It's like almost second guessing yourself of where to move your artistic business, and what to produce. You know what I mean? So like I think as an artist, most of us creatives, we are always in our heads, and that's almost why we create. It might, at least with me, like it gives me like a break from all of that negativity and just all that crazy crap, all that crazy shit that goes into my head. It gives me a break. However long I'm creating.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a really vulnerable. It's a vulnerable moment.
It's definitely a vulnerable moment, dude.
Sure.
It's super uncomfortable, especially when you're dealing with. And I think what it stems from is when we're kids, we give our art away to our fans and family, and then they expect that for the rest of your life. So you don't have that confidence in yourself that you can actually make money at it, because you've been giving it away your whole life, and that's all that you ever do, because nobody ever wants to pay for it.
When I went to college for art, I had so many people going, "Oh, you're going for basket weaving."
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Because it's not taken seriously.
That's what like friends and family were saying to you.
Well, like extended family, not necessarily my core family, but it's not taken seriously, and
it's not.
But it is what it is, and I'm out to prove myself to myself more than anybody else. But that, hey, I can do this, and I don't care what anybody else says.
No, yeah, man. Yeah. The whole reason why I'm a CNA right now is because my mom was like always pushing me to do something in the medical field. She's like, they always need people in the medical field. Do something there, and then you can do art later. Like that's your hobby.
Safe.
And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, but like I really love doing this, and it wasn't until recently, because I work with my mom, man. She works in the same hospital that I work with.
Oh snap!
Like, go do your CNA, and then you'll have a for sure job. And I was like, all right, fine. And I did it. When I moved up to here in Alaska, I got my CNA cert, started working. And it wasn't until like I want to say honestly a couple years ago where I flat out told her and everybody else around me that kept telling me that I'm crazy, that no, I'm not going back to school to be a nurse. I'm not doing it. And they're like, why not? And I go, if I go back to school, it's gonna be for art, and I don't care what you guys say anymore. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going back to school for art. I'm fucking doing it right now. I don't have to.
Please don't.
But
please don't. You're fine. You're doing great there, bud. You don't need that.
No, I draw so much inspiration. Like Marco definitely inspires me. You inspire me, Sean. And
you guys do, man.
The people around me that I've gotten to know on a personal level, and it's just like, wow, this is absolutely insane. Like, I don't have a lot of friends that I talk to outside of my my online friends, and my
Me
online
either.
friends.
I live in it. I'm hours away from all of my friends and family, like in real
Yeah,
life people. So
yeah, no, and
I
it's
don't
great.
think I
We
would
have each other. Like
either, man.
I
I live in
spend
Alaska.
almost all day hanging out on the Discord chatting with people because like I'm home all day with my son. We're in the middle of a pandemic. It's not really looking any better. He's not wearing a mask, so I'm just like, okay, I have people that I can connect with, and I don't have to like leave my
that's
house.
right,
It's
Robin.
beautiful. Art family,
Yeah.
yes,
Hell
definitely.
yeah.
I'd have a couple more questions.
All
Then I
right.
have a couple fan questions.
All right.
What is advice that you would give to your younger self about art?
Don't be a dumbass and focus on
I love that.
creating your shit. Don't worry about college. Don't worry about girls. Don't worry about partying. Focus on your shit. Develop your brand, develop your style, develop your whatever, and know that you have the ability to get it out there, and people will want it. I don't really know how else to articulate that. Like,
No,
if I have never had the confidence in myself to like really take it seriously. Like I have great support. I have friends who fucking have always pushed me in art and have always been a really like champions for me, and have gotten me opportunities and stuff like that. And I've had people just throw stuff at me, and I've just been like, I don't want to commit to that. Like I don't want to do, I don't want to, because I was just fucking stupid. So yeah, I would just tell myself, don't be stupid, bro. Like no, like and then the depression wouldn't have happened because I just lived on so much regret for so long. Like I wish I could go back and be like, don't be.
No, I only
dumb,
say that, man, because like that's how I feel. That's almost exactly the way you started. Was almost exactly how I started when Tyler asked me the same question. Same exact thing, man. I tell him not to be stupid, like stop being a dumbass, like exactly.
Yeah, dude, grow up, man. Like
right.
It's like you're 18 now. Like you better fucking figure it out, bro. And I've always just worked stupid jobs because that's what I was taught to do. Just just do a regular job, man. And
there's just a lot of societal pressure to go into different fields, or you'll never make anything of yourself if you don't do this. Like when I was in college or when I was in high school, I had instructors going, because I didn't want to go to college. That really wasn't my goal, and I
didn't either.
I waited until I was 25 before I actually went to college. But I had instructors going, well, you're never going to be able to get a job if you don't go to college. And I was like, motherfucker, I have two parents that didn't finish high school that own their own businesses and are very successful at what they do. So
my
don't tell me that I have
and they're doing great.
Like, I don't have to do that. Now, I love the fact that I went to college. I did learn a lot, and it was very good for me. And I probably wouldn't be where I am today without that education I got. Just because I grew up a lot, and I learned responsibility because I'm paying to go to fucking school now. I'm not going for free. I have to pay for this shit. So I took it a lot more serious, and I did enjoy it. But once I got to the university level, because I went to community college first, it was a whole different experience, and I didn't appreciate as much of what was going on there because they don't care. They don't care if you fail.
Right.
They don't care how much you're paying.
No.
And that's when I got a little jaded with the whole education system.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. I always thought it should have been the opposite. Like, I've gone through different schools where in high school, elementary, grade school, middle school, whatever, you had those teachers that actually gave a shit, and you can tell like they really want you to fucking do better, and they have one-on-one with you and stuff like that. And they're getting paid shit, right? Like, and then you go to college where these guys are getting paid. I don't know if they're getting paid good, but they're getting paid what I feel is professor grade, right? And it's coming from either your stuff, the school, whatever. You're paying a lot of shit for this fucking school, and they don't give a shit. Like, dude, how is that opposite? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying that the high school teachers of them just shouldn't give a shit and professors should. I mean, I feel
think
like
it's,
all educators should. But
I think it's more that you're an adult at that point, and so you're expected to just nut up or shut up, like pretty much. Like they're not there for BS. They're not gonna hold your hand through it because they have too many students to fuck with. So yeah, that's probably why, dude. I don't know. That's just what came to mind just now.
No,
it makes
definitely,
sense, though, man.
Yeah, it definitely there's a disconnect that the professors have with their students, and you don't have that personal aspect to it. But you already answered my last question. What advice would you give for younger artists when you said go and get a business degree and then do your art? Because that was a really good,
beautiful answer.
Yeah. But I have one question. And this is from Wanderlust Commission.
Okay.
And she says, what does the color purple sound like to you?
Probably a Prince song. I don't know.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, totally.
Prince.
Purple Rain, dude. Not necessarily Purple Rain, but like,
right.
That movie was so good. That movie, I probably watched that 90 times growing up. Like, I loved Prince. I loved Prince and Michael Jackson. Like, they were my dudes, man. Like, I wanted to be them so bad. I wanted to dance like Michael Jackson. When
I was a kid, my MJ was big when I was younger. So I know all about that. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up today? I mean, we're pushing an hour and a half now. We've had a nice time.
So for anybody who wants these, I've got this one, and then the skeletons they're like the colorful skulls with the snake and the spider coming out. I've got a few left. So if you want one, just text me on Instagram or TikTok.
And what's your?
Let me know which one you want.
What's your handle?
At Sean Donahue Art. At Sean Donahue Art. Across all platforms. Some of them have like hyphen or not hyphens, but underscores. But if you just type in my name, you'll see it. I have this. Try to use the same profile picture across everything too.
Perfect.
But yeah, they're $40 shipped, or you can get both for $60. But I only have a couple of these guys left. I've got like 7 of these skulls, but only like 2 or 3 of this one. So if you want one, hit me up, and we'll exchange information and go from there. And then I'm gonna hit 2022, hit the ground running, and just try to make it like an amazing year. I want to do so much stuff. So
I can't wait to see what you do and revisit this in a year and see how things have gone for you.
Yeah.
I'd love to see where your art career is headed with this new direction you're going. And I really appreciate you coming on here and talking with us today. I can't wait.
Thank you for having me, you guys. I'm honored. I'm honored. I like, seriously, when I found out, I was just blown away. It's so cool. So I really appreciate it.
I'm so glad that we got to do this and hang out and talk art. And because honestly, it's just like 3 bros hanging out talking art and bullshit, and it's fun. So like I said, I really do appreciate it. And I'm gonna leave you with the Paint the Fucking World. Marco?
And y'all stay rebellious, man.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you probably after the first of the year since we got the holiday coming up. So Paint the Fucking World.
Love y'all. Peace.